Guys, welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, May.
And I'm Laura Sogar, and we've got a pretty epic one today.
It's really amazing. So today on the pod, I am covering the white whale of business scandals and takedowns. It is the big one, Enron.
Wow, here we go.
Here
Big
we
business.
go. This is going to be part one of two, maybe three, honestly. It's kind of a dense one.
It's a chunky one.
It's a chunky one. There's a lot of stuff that I uncovered that I didn't even know about. Obviously, I rewatched the documentary and that kind of thing, which I have to say, there's always an origin story. Like, I'm really into true crime as well as business scandals. And this, I think, was my origin story when I first saw that Smartest Guys in the Room. I was obsessed with it.
Yep.
And I did this like paper in college and all my friends were like, why are you so obsessed with this? I was like,
why do you love Enron so much? And you're like, just an inspiring story.
Yeah. Of some really smart guys that are doing something innovative.
You're
I don't
so
know.
hot. I don't know.
But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be part one of maybe three TBD. And guys, enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
Oh my God, Laura, things have been wild. It's been quite a weekend for us, but we're here
Wow,
now.
it has been literally nonstop. Literally.
Yeah, truly.
Nonstop.
You guys have no idea what we do for you people, okay? It is.
We love you. We're here. I'm going to that Orlando conference in the morning.
Wow.
So as we mentioned, I might take off my fake engagement ring and sleeps with some older men. Just
Well,
kidding,
you
I
got to
won't be doing
advance
that.
your career.
I know.
So what
So
are your
that's like
options?
basically what I'm focusing on right now is just like, who can I find in a Disney park?
Yeah.
If
Oh
you don't
my
know what I'm
God.
talking about, watch the last episode. This is a really good thing to, bring you back.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of corporate retreats and stuff like that, have you been watching the WeWork miniseries?
I have not, but I heard from you that it's very good.
It's very
I've
good.
added it to the list. I'm still stuck on Love is Blind.
Oh, that's also great.
Holy shit.
I watch way too much TV. That's something that I've decided about myself. But I just, because everyone's like, oh, have you seen this? I'm like, yep. Have you seen this? I'm like, yep. I'm like, how many hours am I just plopped in front of the TV?
Well, you do
scrolling through TikTok anyway.
You do that, and then I play video games. So
Yeah, so
between the two of us, we're like all the vices.
At
We've
least-
got them covered.
And not to mention alcoholics, that
Yeah.
too.
Tell you about it.
But yeah, it's really well done, I think. And Jared Leto does a great job. His Israeli accent is very funny to me.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or not, but it's adding to the show for me. And Anne Hathaway is really good as his wife. And actually what it focused a lot on is like her perspective of things, at least in the last episode that I've seen. And I was like, oh, that's a really interesting take. And there's a lot that happens at those little WeWork retreats that I didn't cover in the episode because I didn't know
Maybe
about.
we should revisit and like do like, it's been a while since we last covered it. So like I'm sure more stuff has happened. For instance, I work at a WeWork, technically. I
So
don't
do
go
I.
into the office.
Yeah.
But I got my little card and I was like, you guys really have something here. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
A lot of
Is that your first time working in a WeWork?
I've been to WeWorks before, but I've always been remote.
Oh, okay.
So I've never like had to go to an office. I still don't have to, but they have Sweet Green there. So I go
That's nice. Yeah.
on occasion. I go in, I take it, and then I go, bye. And I go back to my home.
I do like WeWork.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good idea.
I mean,
Definitely.
it's a great concept. They tried to expand it like a tech company, even though it's a real estate company. So
Right.
fucking idiots. But they got free kombucha on tap. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I'd highly recommend that if you guys are looking for something new to watch. I thought that was really, really well done. And then another scammer thing that we could cover is the bad vegan. You guys seen this?
Are we like onto something with this?
It's almost like people have an appetite for the stories that we're talking about.
I
in
know.
this
I was
podcast.
like, WeWork we've already done. Bad vegan. Yes, that one is
very much do.
Very much. We should add that to the list at some point. Also, we can go in and like actually see what's real versus what's been like
Right.
dramatized for.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bad Vegan is
television?
actually, it's a documentary, so it's not quite the same as the WeWork ones, but
Still.
yeah.
Remember when we watched the John McAfee one and that they were like paying off the people to say like all sorts of crazy shit?
Yeah.
You're like, what is real in a documentary? Point is, that's its own business. Maybe
Well,
we'll
yeah,
take that.
documentaries always have like a lean. I love when people come out of documentaries and they're like, oh my God, and they'll just regurgitate whatever they heard in the documentary. And it's like, obviously there's an agenda to the
Right.
documentary.
Who funded it? Like,
Right.
look into that.
Exactly.
Still fun. I mean, enjoy yourself and then look into that, you know?
Yeah, right. Exactly. But maybe don't take documentaries at like face value is the point that we're saying. Then you find out it's just, funded by Putin.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I mean, he's trying.
He's trying.
He would. Let me tell you, he would.
Oh, totally. Yeah, so that's that. And then wasn't Putin, he was funding some like
Redacted Tonight.
Redacted Tonight. Yeah, he was funding Redacted Tonight.
Redacted Tonight was basically like The Daily Show, but like if Russia made it for America. Very.
And was it supposed to be like a satirical joke or was it okay?
No.
Okay, good.
It was really weird, like so much so that NPR did a story on it. When NPR is doing a story on you like that, review.
Yeah.
You've probably never heard of it. Thankfully, it didn't really get
Catch
any
fire.
traction here because that would have been a disaster.
People don't find Russian propaganda that funny, I guess.
Yeah, they were like, ha, what? They're like, Putin looks great. He's so hot.
That's actually hilarious. Honestly. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'll work for anyone. So Putin. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
I would not. He's a war criminal. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, Bad Vegan, that was a pretty good one. I was like, I don't know. It's just very funny also to see how things got sensationalized. Like, not to give too much away, but when she got caught with the guy that she ran away with after fucking up her business, they had ordered a pizza and that's how they got caught. And she's obviously supposed to be a vegan, but it was not for her, it was for him. And that was like the real story. But then all the tabloids were like, vegan eats cheese. And that was like the main thing that they focused on. So I don't know.
You know what those people need? Mortgages.
Yeah. Listen, everybody needs a fucking mortgage and no one would be online if everyone just had a mortgage.
Absolutely.
The world would be a better place if everyone
We just need everyone to be like a little bit more busy. Like the tabloids writing about someone ordering a cheese pizza. Move it along. I don't know. People are dying.
Yeah.
Move it along. Yeah, we gotta get you more work. You need more stress, clearly, in your life if you're concerned about the vegan.
That's true. God, I have too much stress. My cortisol levels through the roof.
Same.
It's a disaster.
We're good.
Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the girl, before we get into the story, is that did you see that there was a girl in California who did stand up in a movie theater?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't see the set. Was she any good?
No, of course not.
She's mentally ill, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
So essentially what happened was the screen broke and she claims that her daughter dared her to go and do stand up.
Okay.
And so she stands up and she just basically is like ambushing these people. And
so like most of my sets.
I'm like, oh, it's an ambush show. I've done one of those.
Hell yeah. It's my specialty.
I did one of those the other day and I was like, damn, I really thought I had graduated from these, but here I am in a bar with a bunch of people that are just trying to have a drink on a Wednesday night and I'm having a microphone in their
They are like
face.
25-cent wings and I'm like, listening to me is what you're really paying here. I will buy you those wings. You listen to me.
Literally. So this guy, Charlie Damsky, he tweeted, all hell broke loose at the AMC Burbank at 16 last night.
Oh, no.
And so there's like a link to her set, but I mean, I don't think we have to play it. It's apparently pretty brutal. And she went on for about 15 minutes.
What?
And
oh my God. I did not know it was that long.
Yeah, it was a really long thing.
That's an aggressively long time.
And tons of people told her to stop, to sit down. She wasn't doing that. She goes, oh, someone asked me to sit down as a joke. And it's like, no, they were asking you to sit down for real.
Also, AMC, what's going on with the theater? Like,
right.
Do you have a broken room and you're just like, leave them in there?
Yeah, that's so
fine.
weird.
They actually didn't care. Did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Not in this article that we have here, but in other articles I saw that her comedy was like basically just a ton of like racial voices. Like I swear to God, just like a bunch of like her mimicking like other races in their voice. I swear to you.
It's not even clean.
No. And she's just like at this like she's probably going to see like Frozen.
Oh my God.
And there's a bunch of kids.
Wait, and so her daughter was with her?
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
That would be a formative memory for me where I'd be traumatized, where I'd be like, oh, my mother humiliated us.
That is a core memory.
That's a core memory.
Yeah.
And this is also why I will never live in LA. There's too many people that are like, oh, this is my big break. Like this woman is probably fucking stoked that she's getting all this press. How sick is that?
Probably. No, I'm going to go check it out now. So, I mean, jokes on us, I guess, me. I don't know. But
yeah, it is insane. So then she was like, yeah, to do comedy, it takes consistency, and I'm a single mom, so I haven't had that on my side. So I know how hard comedy is. I'm happy I did it. I don't care what the negative stuff is. And it's like,
all right,
what?
sweetheart. Well, I guess that's one attitude to take towards it.
Sure. And like, were you a comic before you were a mom? Or like, you're just, what's going on here? Seems like she's just
I think she's a mentally ill person.
Yeah, I think so too.
Who doesn't have any sort of emotional intelligence to realize, hey, maybe don't yell at strangers in a theater.
Right. I know.
Yeah, one person heckled.
Oh, yeah,
asking.
one person heckled her at one point. They said, put us out of our misery.
She's like, I will with this next joke, which will kill you.
That's really funny.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if anyone's ever left a show of mine and been like, that girl was torturing us with her delusion. Probably in the early days.
Oh, in the early days, yeah, but that's why you do mics, so you're like, other comics have to like listen to you and just be like,
right,
yeah, we deserve this. yeah.
Or you're essentially just holding an audience hostage and you're like, listen to my half-baked ideas.
That was every park show we did.
Oh my God.
Oh
Yeah.
Park shows were very much ambush comedy.
Oh
but
my God.
But the one nice thing is that people could like kind of combat you. Like I had a girl come up, I was hosting, and she tried to take the mic and just do a set. I think she just thought we were just people were coming up and just doing things. She was blacked out, just turned 21, wanted to address the audience. And I was just like, you're not even in the wrong, actually. I think you might be in the right.
Yeah.
Why are we here either?
Yeah. That's really funny.
Honestly, happy birthday. Have at it.
You know what's funny is that lately, so it used to be when I would get off stage, there'd be some audience member that would be typically a guy, and he would be like, how did you get on stage? Do I just like write my name down and like, get on the show?
If they let you up there, like, it's got to be pretty
exactly
easy, right?
And then they try to like mansplain to me how to get on shows. I'd be like, are you a comic? They're like, no, I'm a banker, but you know. And so that used to be the trend, and I've like, this has happened to me probably like twice in the past month, which is a lot, where a girl will come up to me afterwards and be like, how'd you get started? Like, you know, can you like what? And like doing the same thing. And I'm like, that's equality.
There
now
we go.
women
Yeah,
are being just as obnoxious as men about our stand-up.
Hell yeah. Honestly, that warms my little heart, warms my little dead heart. Good for them.
I have a much different reaction with them. I'm like, go for it. I don't know, go to a mic. I'm like, here's some good mics. Good luck.
Yeah, have at it.
Yeah.
Hope you have no shame.
Right.
You're gonna need rid of that.
Hope you want to ruin your life and all of your weekends.
Yeah.
With this
Do you like having fun? Stop that.
Right.
Just kidding. It is fun. A little stressful though.
Oh yeah, big time. It's just like these little sprints, and
then it gets normal again.
And then it gets normal, and
we're closing out a sprint.
I'm closing out a sprint. We are exhausted.
It's just like how engineers refer to, you know, when they do engineering work, they refer to them as sprints.
They do?
It's to get tasks done.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're engineers.
Oh, wow.
What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we're totally as smart as them. I can barely explain this story I'm going to tell you guys today, but I'm super fucking smart.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know about Enron, and I've read about it, but it's been a while. So I think a lot of like the details around it are going to, I'm also have the memory of a goldfish. So I'm gonna be like, oh my God, that's so bad. They did that.
So the details are obviously very complex. What I'm going to focus on in specifically this episode, and then I'm going to get into more of the nitty gritty in the second and third episode. But in this episode, I want to focus more so on introducing you guys to the overall company, the culture, and the main players.
Perfect.
So it's a little bit more of like a take on the, you know,
profile,
sociology of it all.
The who's who of Enron.
Right. Before we continue, a word from our sponsor, Risque Business News, is brought to you by Breakshot Pool. There's a new mobile game out there. It's called Breakshot Pool. It's an app for iOS and Android. Breakshot Pool is the only pool game on the App Store, is specifically designed to be played between real life friends like you and me, Laura.
That's pretty dope.
Sometimes you need a little break, and this is a perfect game for that. Breakshot Pool is a fun and perky turn-based game that is completely non-intrusive, no annoying ads or forced in-app purchases. Many players have called it the Words with Friends of Pool. Oh, so that's a lot of fun.
Very popular game.
With Breakshot Pool, you can play pool with your friends without needing to be online at the same time. When a friend plays, you get a notification that it's your turn and you can play back whenever you feel like it. So kind of like texting. The game is free and in-app purchases are completely optional. So even if you don't consider yourself a gamer or a huge pool fan, check it out. You'll see how fun it is. Many non-gamers have already been enjoying it, which is pretty cool. I'm non-gamer. I love it. and I hate games. It's a great way to connect with friends, especially since many of us are stuck working from home and, across the country and all that kind of stuff. This game gives little fun breaks from it all. Breakshot Pool is available on iOS and Android, and iOS and Android can even play each other.
Oh,
so
shit.
if you have a poor friend with a green bubble, you can still play that.
camera for whatever reason. Risque Business News listeners who download the game will get a variety of in-game goodies for free to make your experience even better. So go to the Apple or Android App Store and search for Breakshot Pool. That's Breakshot, one word, Breakshot, BREAKSHOT, and Pool, POOL. One more time, Breakshot Pool. Link is going to be in the description. Download the game, invite your friends, show off your skills, send your reactions to each other. The developers are big fans of the pod. We really appreciate them and would love to get Risque Business News fans to connect with this cute game on their phones. Hell yeah. So please do this. Give yourself a little break. Try out this free game. As listeners of the pod, you're getting free goodies. The whole thing is free, so give it a try today. Available on iOS and Android. Link in the description. Breakshot Pool.
Okay, so
What's the
Enron,
vibe?
as you may or may not know, is an energy trading and utility company based in Houston.
HTX.
And obviously,
Hottest place in the fucking world. So humid there. I'm going there next week for a wedding. Another thing I'm doing.
wow.
We'll reveal.
Okay.
Keep going.
So Enron, it was a energy trading and utility company. It perpetuated one of the biggest accounting frauds in history. So
That's incredible.
it's famous for a reason.
Nice to be number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was founded by a dude named Kenneth Lay, who we'll get into a little bit later, but in 1985, as a merger between Lay's existing Houston Natural Gas and Inter-North, both relatively small regional companies, and then he consolidated those into Enron and make a bigger conglomerate and have more control over the natural gas.
Mm-hmm. Natural
Whatever.
gas is all from fracking and stuff like that, right? Or do we get into this? It doesn't matter.
That I actually don't know.
So I'm pretty sure if there might be other ways to get it, but fracking is what they do a lot in North Texas, and it like ruins wells or something. It's very controversial.
Yeah, actually, one time I was in Boston, and when you get off the train in Boston, there's a bunch of newspapers from the Irish Times because it's just
What are they up to?
by law they have to do that. And
Welcome to Boston. It's like a tourism
Yeah,
thing,
there's like-
actually, more than anything. They're like, can you believe Irish Times?
the Dropkick
Really
Murphys,
here? Yeah.
they're there to greet you.
It's always St. Patrick's Day.
But there was a headline, and it was like Cher is anti-fracking, and it was like this whole article about how Cher was like on this tirade against fracking, and I was like, what?
I am mostly pleased that Cher can still learn new things.
And imagine
You know?
being Cher and being like, oh, you have a call at 12 with the Irish Times about how you hate fracking. And she's like, she's like,
Oh, don't get me started.
babe, wait, I gotta go talk about fracking. That's the worst Cher ever. But but what a weird.
Can you believe?
Can you believe they're fracking
All
in
right, I'll
Ireland?
never do that to you guys again. I'm so sorry.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, I actually don't know. I should probably know, and I don't. So before its bankruptcy, spoiler alert.
Yeah. What? You're
yeah.
saying they're what?
Which happened on December 2nd of 2001, Enron employed approximately 30,000 staff and was a major electricity, natural gas, communications, and pulp and paper company, which
You got to have a lot of multi-channel.
Yeah. And actually, I'll talk about this a little later on, but like one of the guys came in and he was talking about like maybe selling bandwidth on the internet and stuff. So they were actually like genuinely an innovative company. They were just doing nefarious things the entire time.
Right. Hey, bummer.
Yeah, exactly. That's usually how it goes. But they claimed revenues of nearly 101 billion during 2000.
101 billion.
Yeah, exactly. In
Air
quotation
quote,
marks.
Yeah.
And in the documentary, it said that it took Enron 16 years to go from a $10 billion company to $65 billion. So I don't know where he's getting that metric. It was obviously 101 billion, but whatever.
Yeah, come on, do your research.
In assets, and only 24 days to go bankrupt.
Iconic.
Which is
Honestly,
amazing.
Wow.
I know.
Pretty cool.
Pretty crazy. So immediately people were like, okay, this smells like a huge fucking scandal. So reporters are like jumping on this. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Honestly, not the most innovative reporting right there. They were like, this sounds like it might be weird. Yeah, no shit.
It is kind of fascinating to me though, like obviously like these stories have to come from somewhere and then we just regurgitate them from the internet. So
Right.
I'm like, that must be really hard to like
That
actually
is-
piece together. I can barely piece together this story from a documentary that I watched, like
Yeah.
let alone making the actual documentary.
Yeah, actually going and interviewing the correct people and stuff like that. Sounds like a thankless job.
So I rewatched the documentary, like I said, and I thought it was really interesting. The first few lines of it, this woman was like, people are drawn to this topic because they think it's about numbers and like complicated transactions, and what it really is about is the people. Greed, arrogance, hubris, all that shit. So I like focusing on that too. Yeah.
Perfect.
I didn't remember this from the documentary, which I can't believe I didn't, but it opens also with this dramatization of this one guy who unfortunately completed suicide at the end of this. Okay. So it was like really fucking gnarly, and we'll talk about that in part 2. But
okay. There's a suicide in part 2. Make sure you tune in. Hit that subscribe button, folks. I know you want to talk about it.
Maybe part 3. So let's talk about this dude Ken Lay, who started the business. There he is, just like looks like everybody's grandpa. He actually looks a lot like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Also, what a tight-lipped smile. That guy has secrets.
Oh yeah.
Look at him. He's like, oh, I'm happy, right?
Oh, big time.
No, everything's fine. My cortisol's at normal level.
Fast forwarding a little bit, in 2009, a list posted on Portfolio.com ranked him as the 3rd worst American CEO of all time, and I'm like, who was the 1 and 2?
Who the fuck? It's still like Time Warner. Like, aren't the cable companies always the worst?
Is that right?
The cable companies famously have the worst ranking as companies, like almost consistently. But they have like
hates them.
No person has been like, love them. They're
That's
great.
True. That's so true.
We should look, but I'm guessing they're 1 and 2.
Yeah. So Lay came from pretty humble beginnings, and he was born in Texas County, Missouri, town of Tyrone.
Nice.
And he was the son of a Baptist preacher. So he was like, and they owned a general store which failed. So this is like his little villain origin story.
He lives in the wannabe Texas in Missouri.
Pretty much.
How do you name yourself Texas County but Missouri?
I don't know. And then they relocated to a place called Columbia, Missouri.
Come on.
Yeah. They're going to go to Paris, Florida.
I don't have another example. That's great, though.
Yeah. So he studied economics in school
nice.
And a Master of Arts, which is interesting. He was also a frat boy, which will come into play in the company culture later on. So he's a frat boy. He served as the president of Zeta Phi chapter of the Beta Theta Pi.
Were you in a sorority?
They didn't have them at my school.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have joined, though.
Okay, so I went to University of Texas.
I say that, though. I don't know.
Obviously a massive frat sorority scene there. And once a year, they'd have these parties called Roundup.
Oh my God, that doesn't sound good.
It's not good, but it was like where the kids
rapey,
are rushing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Except for never mind, hook 'em. I don't know. But these kids would come up to rush, and this was right after the swim team. We would go on dry season, so we wouldn't drink for like a really good part of the year, and we'd come off of that, and so out of fucking control. We are out of control. And we would always go to these parties, and we are enormous. Yeah. Like this group of like 40 people deep, 6 feet plus, massive, so strong, can drink like a horse.
Yeah.
And we would just steamroll.
Even though you've been sober for months.
Exactly. We steamrolling sororities and fraternities. It was like terrifying for them.
You just made it an athletic sport.
Yeah. They were just like, oh my God. They had, oh my God, who was the person performing? It was some rapper who has like a one-hit wonder or something, but like everyone
Juvenile
knew him.
Or something.
Some bullshit like that. And we all got on stage with him.
Oh my God.
It was like, what the fuck's going on?
See, that's the cool thing about playing a sport, though, is that you don't really need that sense of community that comes along with the sororities.
Well,
so
you have it. And you're also like, I mean, we were very, very, very bonded. And we were just like, we're going to go fuck shit up.
Right,
and
right,
we did.
right.
I lost 2 pairs of shoes that night.
Okay, good.
I lost shoes, acquired additional shoes. Then I lost those shoes and had to acquire additional shoes. I don't know how, but I did.
Okay, wow. And especially with your feet, no offense.
No, I know. I'm a size 11. Like, that's like...
Well, she's got some, like, hooves, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Flippers.
I was good at swimming. I don't know what to tell you. Flippers, but I needed to source additional footwear.
Were they from females?
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But I like broke a shoe, threw them, just left them.
Okay.
That's my calling card at frats.
Okay.
Here's my size 11. This is my Cinderella origin story. I'm just...
Yeah, they would literally have to search the whole school to find your feet.
They're like, who is that? That's one of the swimmers. Oh, that makes sense. Don't call her.
Sense.
Actually, don't call her. Yeah, we're just gonna throw that shoe away.
So anyway, yeah, he was a frat boy at the University of Missouri. He earned a Doctor of Philosophy and Economics from the University of Houston, 1970.
He really just added on a lot of random degrees. Huh?
I know, right? Yeah, but he's like, a point is he's like a pretty smart dude, and he was really motivated to have a different life than he had when he was growing up, which was like all about, you know, pinching pennies. His general store closed down.
Right. Okay.
And there's like
That's
a lot
fair.
of in the documentary, there's all these photos of him on a farm, and he was like, I was super obsessed with business because I just wanted my life to look different than it looked as
That's
a kid.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good origin story so far.
Yeah, for sure. So he worked as a he worked at Humble Oil as a is that the real name of a company?
Oh my
I guess
God.
it is, because I just copied and pasted this from somewhere.
Humble oil.
As an economist from
Old oil.
from 1965 to 1968. In 1968, he entered a candidate school for the United States Navy. So he rose to lieutenant. He was a comptroller there. So he's
No
like
way.
a smart fucking guy. And he ended up as the assistant secretary of the Navy in the Department of the Navy at the Pentagon.
Aren't you supposed to do like a lot of ethics trainings to get in the Navy?
I would imagine so.
I hope they did a quick review after all this.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that he was like very religious and whatever, and he like touted himself as this like moral dude.
right.
So,
But
obviously
also,
he's not a moral dude.
do you think they afterwards were like, we should actually go take a look at the curriculum for our ethics class?
Probably not. They're probably like, that has nothing to do with us.
Couldn't be nothing.
There's gonna be a bad apple that just takes down the entire fucking
oil,
economy.
oil and gas and economy as a whole. Yeah.
So in Washington, he pushed super, super aggressively for deregulation. So he was trying to become like a crusader to liberate businessmen from government control.
That is
Obviously,
such a non-compelling thing to like
I
fight
know.
for.
I know.
Like, are there kids dying in like other
And
countries?
he's like, we gotta deregulate these fucking
These businessmen,
stocks, you know?
they just have to fill out too much paperwork. I don't know what to tell you.
It's crazy. So he founded Enron in 1985, like I said, and this was supposed to be a new way of clean energy without relying so heavily on the pipeline cost of gas, et cetera. And be
Okay.
more of like the market decides the cost of gas, and there's no regulation. It's fucking chaos.
Yeah, and you frack and it's good.
And all that shit. So
I hope it is fracking. I think it is. but
something
don't
that
know.
I find fascinating is that Lay was a really, really close friend of the Bush family,
Okay.
including former President George W. Bush and his dad. So he made a ton of monetary contributions, led several committees in the Republican Party, and was co-chairman of Bush's 1992 re-election committee.
It makes sense. I mean, it's like Texas businessmen. They're all there. My friend, her family owns a big construction company in Dallas, and they know the Bushes like well.
Oh, really?
Like they come over.
Oh, okay. Maybe this isn't that weird then.
Well, I mean, it is. That's still kind of fucking weird, but
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, you know, at the certain Dallas, Houston, not really Austin, maybe now. Yeah. Anyone super fucking rich there is gonna get linked to the Bushes.
Yeah. So when he was president, Ken Lay flew Bush and his family to Washington on Enron's corporate plane, which is kind of funny. It's kind of like getting caught on Epstein's plane now,
Yeah.
except not as bad. Is stealing money worse than fucking kids? Yeah, I think. No,
Well,
I
he,
think
like,
fucking
crashed in
kids is worse.
Fucking Kids isn't great. Fucking Kids is definitely ranks pretty damn high. But this guy did kind of fuck up the economy for a long time.
He did, yeah.
So maybe kids had to. I don't know. I'm gonna stop that.
Yeah, we're gonna pivot.
I'm like, yes, and nope. I'm gonna no and that one. No and move it along.
So also in December of 2000, Lay was mentioned as a possible candidate for either the United States Secretary of Energy or the Secretary of the Treasurer under George W. Bush. And remember, this is right before the bankruptcy, a year before, essentially.
That is horrifying.
I know.
Because you're like, what fuckers are in right now who are 1 year out, you know, from some like crazy scandal?
I don't know.
Like they're for sure.
I mean,
or
of
where we
course.
just never found out.
Yeah, I mean, we thought WeWork was like the healthiest company ever. Until
Yeah, we were like, everyone uses WeWork.
right. It's insane. So he also had super friendly relations with the Republican politicians Gerald Ford, Dick Cheney, James Baker III, as well as Democratic politicians Bill Clinton and Ann Richards. The Clintons cannot get out of any scandal. They really can't.
No, they're always like, excuse me, we'd like to speak to you.
You know,
But I mean, I get it. Like in business, it's like you want to play your card. Who cares? You want to have everyone in your pocket.
of course, yeah.
There's no party lines.
You know what's very funny is that when you pull up the documentary, Dick Cheney is like one of the first people listed on like the cast members. Obviously, it's a documentary, but it'll be like Dick Cheney himself, and it's like it'll be like literally like Ken Lay. The next one is Dick Cheney. I'm like, damn, they did him dirty. Like whoever was making that is just like, fuck Dick Cheney.
Put him at the top.
I want it to be super prominently known that he was involved in this.
Oh my God. All right,
what were you gonna say?
We should expand to politics sometime. Maybe not. That's maybe too much.
Well,
but it'd be interesting to.
I mean, it would be.
You let us know. How about that? You guys let us know if you want to hear any of my hot takes. I don't think you do, but I have them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would be afraid from,
Conspiracy.
the wellness of my life.
That's true.
For the people coming at us, but I think that it would still be very fun and maybe on the Patreon we'll put a paywall on it.
You can literally say whatever you want to us. That point.
Literally. Yeah, so he was like super tied in with both parties, but mostly the Republican Party. And his contributions totaled $5.8 million, with 73% going to Republicans, 27% going to Democrats. And from 1999 to 2001, he gave $365,000 to the Republican Party. They were super close. So George called Ken Lay Kenny Boy.
Which is George called everyone something boy.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's just how he spoke.
But what a fucking pitch he gave as that opening pitch. Remember that?
No.
Oh my God. Do you not remember this? Oh my God. We got to pull this up too, maybe. So George Bush did a first pitch at the baseball game or whatever.
I thought you meant business pitch. And I was like, what?
No. Do you remember the pitch now?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Can we pull it up? George Bush.
He was so good. It's like literally an amazing pitch.
This guy's had a lot of practice.
It's funny. But he's down. He's practicing. He's warming up his shoulder.
Here. Thumbs up, buddy.
Meanwhile, he's just a war criminal, and now he just paints. Look at that pitch. Right down the middle.
Fucking nailed it. How he is his ego is through the roof. This is like the highlight of his presidency for him.
And then like compare that to Fauci's pitch. It's like, Fauci, no wonder nobody trusts you. Oh my God, you're gonna give that stupid pitch like that? Yeah, so there's a bunch of embarrassing ass videos of the Bush family talking about Enron employees in like a super nice way. So this one guy was leaving, this guy, I forget what his first name, Rich Kinder.
Okay.
And he was leaving the company, and he hasn't been implicated in the financial scandal. Let's just say that. But anyway, George Bush is on camera like, don't leave Texas. You're too good of a man. And it's like, you've been so fantastic to the Bush family. I don't think anybody did more than you did to support George. And so it's in the documentary. I tried to find these links on YouTube.
They're gone.
And they're mysteriously scrubbed. Mysteriously
Have
not
you used
available.
DuckDuckGo?
I have not. No.
You should.
What's
it
that?
gives
Is
you
that-
more than Google results.
Oh, okay.
For shit like that, where you're like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Sometimes worth
Interesting.
this is not an ad for them, but just another tool in your tool belt. How about that?
Okay.
I'm losing my mind, May.
So yeah, same. It's unbelievable. Okay, so 1987, Enron's hit with its first scandal. So it's called the Valhalla Scandal.
Ooh, a little Norse action. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's in New York. Yeah.
Oh,
Valhalla, New York.
Valhalla originally was Norse.
The hell is New? What's Norse?
The like Nordic gods or whatever. That's where they would go when they. Okay.
What the hell are you talking about?
You don't know what Valhalla is? That's like
No.
It's like a mythology thing. It's like Norse mythology. I think I could be wrong. Norse. Do you not?
That sounds
Norse.
like something from one of your weird sci-fi books.
Norse mythology. Valhalla is a majestic, enormous hall located in Asgard, ruled over by the god Odin. Your girl plays a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. Also, when we were in Iceland, they talked a lot about it because that's like where the Vikings were.
Well, maybe they settled in this town in New York when they came over on their boats or some shit.
Possibly. I'm sure it was probably named after it or something like that. So
anyway, so an Enron subsidiary, the Enron Oil Corporation, set up its office in Valhalla, New York in 1985. So it was only 2 years that they were operating. By 1987, the SEC had begun investigating 2 top executives there, and the office was shut down.
It's a way to stop an investigation. Be like,
Yep.
What office? What are you talking about? There's no one here.
The SEC accused this guy named Louis Bourget, then the unit's president, and Thomas Mastroni, its secretary treasurer, of executing sham oil trades over those 2 years. So the 2 men, court document shows, set up fake offshore companies to disguise the trades and falsified records to conceal them from company officials in Houston. So millions of dollars from Enron trade had found their way into this fake account. And $2 million have been transferred into Mastroni's personal account at the same bank. But what's interesting is that there's all these phony books and there's like this big web, but that I couldn't possibly begin to explain to you. But at the end of the web, it all goes into a checking account for a person named Mr. M. Yass.
My ass?
My ass, yes.
What a homie. That's pretty funny. That's peak comedy right there. Good for you, dude.
Could you imagine just skimming off millions of dollars from your company and being like, I'm just going to put it in this account called My Ass?
That's really funny.
It's really funny. Like,
I'm going to put your money up my
legends.
ass. That's
like
kind of,
I kind of
it's not
like
good to do, but it's kind of funny.
I mean, how can you not like them?
Yeah, like the chutzpah.
Yeah.
To just be like, you know what? And it's just so funny because most of these frauds are just they transfer it back and forth enough times that people get tired. You know? They get tired of watching it go back and forth. They're like,
right.
Have it. We don't care.
But on paper, this branch was doing incredibly well.
Sure.
So like Ken Lay didn't really give a
well.
fuck.
They had extra to put in their
right. And Ken Lay told people at the time, he goes, I am shocked that these traders would be so reckless. And then there was all these reports that are shown in the documentary where he's CC'd and signing off on things that they're doing. And he's like,
I was blacked out when I was doing that.
I had no idea. So long story short, these 2 people went to prison, but they only went to prison for like 1 year, which goes like, we keep saying this where we're like, just do fraud. You're going to be in prison for like 15 minutes.
Literally, it's the best thing you could do for your career, apparently. Yeah. Just do financial fraud. You're going to maybe wear an ankle bracelet for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. You get to hang out at home for 6 months.
That was like quarantine.
Literally.
Sounds good.
This sounds, I'm going to do it. I'm just kidding.
No, we should do it.
Too bad I have no way. Yeah, except for the pod.
I'll come over here and be like, so Laura, how's your prison sentence going?
We're just getting you better episodes because I have more time.
Literally.
Like still on financial arrest or whenever house arrest.
I say this whenever I finish my topic, I'm like, I'm going to start my next topic research now. And then it's like the night before and I'm like, oh my God.
Time to learn about the company of Enron.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God.
Good.
But Enron's fun. So anyway, he said he was shocked. The traders were not fired.
Obviously.
Instead, they received a memo from Ken Lay. This was also in the documentary. And it's like, dude, you might want to like continue to plead ignorance and not write things like that.
Stop writing to the traders. Maybe at least have like your, someone who works for you.
Right. And be like, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Come on.
Anyway, he says, keep making us millions.
Oh boy.
So, anyway, so now what? Okay. So his best money-making branch is behind bars, the Valhalla.
Odin shut it down.
It shut down. So he hires this dude named Jeff Skilling. So this guy's our next like big player in the Enron scandal. Okay. He actually got the worst sentence. Spoiler alert. But he is an ideas guy, and he envisioned Enron as more of a marketplace for trading natural gas. So basically the market would set the price for the gas that they moved around the country. And so they could buy and sell gas.
Like a middleman.
Like a middleman. Exactly.
For natural gas. Okay.
So he had a profound like banking and management background. It helped him create a solution to Enron's problems. Skilling started a gas bank, basically, in which Enron could buy gas from a network of suppliers and sell it to a network of consumers.
Okay.
So they're basically setting the price of gas, from my understanding of that.
Okay. I'm sure there's so many areas of confusion, even when I just read that sentence.
Oh my God, me too.
That it's like, oh, obviously you can scam me while you're doing this. No shit. Because I don't even remotely follow what you're up to.
No.
So just, go ahead and do whatever you want. Take the money.
Do it.
Because who's going to check on you? Not Bush, let me tell you that.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, sir.
Yeah,
Like-
no idea. So I guess you can have all the money. I guess.
Yeah, I trust you because what's my option?
What's my option? I
don't have any options.
Every single regulator who looked at it was like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't want to look stupid. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, that's why the documentary is called Smartest Guys in the Room.
there you go. Yeah, if you
Because
just
they
sound
touted
really
themselves
smart
like,
and
oh, you just don't get it. You're too stupid to understand this. And
And they're
everyone's
all
like,
like, no, I'm not. I totally get it, and it's great.
and they're like, explain it back to me. And I'm like, I have no
gas
fucking
bank.
idea.
It's a bank for gas. You put the piggy bank
Yeah.
for gas.
No clue. So if you scroll down a little bit, this is what this dude looks like. So he's just like a sleaze bag.
He does look like the kind of guy, though, who would just be like in control of that and no one would question him.
Yeah.
No one wants to have a
true.
long conversation with this man.
No.
No one wants to, like, yeah.
He looks like he constantly has bad like halitosis, but you
Yeah.
can't say anything. You know, like really bad coffee breath.
But you
But it's
definitely
not even coffee though. Like it's something like acidic. You
like
can't really.
ketones or whatever, like in the
Yeah.
background. Everyone's just like, we didn't want to finish that conversation, so we just gave him a rubber stamp of approval.
Right. So before he joined Enron, finance is fucking psycho to me. So he
It is.
required that he be able to use a specific type of accounting called mark to market.
Dude, this is always.
Do you know what this is?
I don't know what mark to market is specifically, but I know another company, which I can't speak about,
Okay.
that got in a shit ton of trouble because of the accounting mechanisms that they use overseas and stuff. That is the easiest way for people to do fraud, because accounting is definitely one where no one's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Everyone's eyes glaze over and they're like, okay, the numbers must make sense. It's just in this way. I don't know how to set it up.
Literally.
So here we go. Once
Okay.
Again, if someone's trying to change their accounting mechanisms,
Fraud.
fraud.
So mark-to-market accounting allows Enron to book future profits once a deal is signed. So you could say, okay, I'm signing a deal with you right now on this area that we're going to provide gas to, and it might make $80 million next year.
I wish I got paid commissions on that.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, they might renew for 100 years.
That's one thing. So they explained it in the documentary, and I kept rewinding and watching it. I was like, this can't be right. And
yeah, what a dream.
Isn't
for a
that
salesperson? Are you
insane?
kidding?
So obviously
Light.
it's like wildly subjective. It's open to manipulation. There's
No
no
shit.
way people can prove it or not prove it, really.
Yeah, because you can't see the future.
But this is the craziest part about it, is that this dude, Arthur Anderson, who comes in later, he signed off on it, and also the SEC approved it.
Now that's where things really get like, what are they up to? This
Yeah.
is your job. You have one job, and it's to prevent people from doing wild shit like this.
Right. And there's this lady
SEC.
there's this lady in the documentary who she was an executive there, but somehow I don't think she was implicated in everything, but she worked really closely with Skilling, and she was like, and everyone was so fucking pumped when this happened. And I remember it being like a big day when the SEC approved it, but she was like, ultimately that was what took us down, was the ability to completely fucking lie.
Yeah. That's one of those things where it's like the macro view of that. You're like, oh yeah, that's obviously going to be a problem.
Yeah,
But
no
like
kidding.
in the day-to-day of it, I'm sure it was just like, you know, we do this different accounting thing and blah, 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 and put the number in the
And
spreadsheet.
everyone's like, this is
and
great.
it's a
Wow, I can't believe we got
calculator.
this approved.
No one's
Woohoo.
asking. No one's going to like dig in a little bit
No.
more.
And also there was like a culture of, if you did ask questions, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Incredible.
of course. So actually there was a video that surfaced of Jeff Skilling spoofing this type of accounting, which like the fucking cojones on this man, you can see them from space. So this is Jeff Skilling explaining what mark to market is essentially.
Oh,
Hey,
good
Rich.
morning.
How are you?
Finally,
Good to
great,
see you.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Good
Morning,
to see
Rich.
Todd. Sit down.
We've been working hard on this, and we've really pulled out all the stops. Look what we got. Origination. We did $20 million last year. We think we can do $120 million this year. Trading. We did $10 million last year. We think we can do 64 this year. This is the key. We're going to move from mark-to-market accounting to something I call HFV, hypothetical future value accounting.
Whoa.
If we do that, we can add a gazillion dollars to the bottom line.
Whoa, Jeff. All right, that sounds fantastic. Oh, Jeff, thank you. That's just superb performance. And you're going to go far, my boy. Probably president of the company one day.
You think so?
Isn't that the craziest thing?
What a kind of like, holy shit. You're right. The balls.
And kind of funny.
It's very funny. Both of the situations now have been like pretty funny.
I know. Like while
they're wasted in business. They should have been comedians.
While I was watching this documentary over, I was like, am I sexually attracted to Jeff Skilling?
What does your breath smell like?
Yeah,
Tell me more.
This guy's got balls you can see from space.
Absolutely.
And has a comedic timing of,
He was just like, this will be good. We should definitely put this online.
Yeah.
Hypothetical value accounting.
So a little bit of background to where this dude came from. So he was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He had a few siblings, yada yada. He was a sales manager at an Illinois valve company.
Oh yeah.
Actually, his older brother Tom Skilling later became chief meteorologist at a place in Chicago, which I'm like, that's really fucking funny. And he's probably like, can you please get that out of all the things about my brother Jeff?
Yeah, he's like, why am I involved?
Yeah, like
we don't know him.
It's really fucking funny.
I mean, talk about future value. He's like, the weather could be whatever. We don't know. Couldn't tell you.
They both just lie for a living.
Just like, we just make shit up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
No one's going to get us in trouble. Except for this case.
So he went to a Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas,
SMU.
Where he was a member of the Beta Theta Pi fraternity. So same fraternity as Ken Lay.
But they had a roundup.
Yeah, right. He studied engineering before changing to business, went to Harvard Business School, yada, yada, yada. He also worked at McKinsey for a little while. So this guy had been like around for a long time. Obviously a very bright person.
Right.
Whenever he was placed at the top 5% of Harvard Business School. So like, it's so sad. Like there's this, we come across this all the time, but if they just use their powers for good, he could be a powerful person.
Yeah. He could have maybe done like, real business.
Yeah.
Not this fake business.
Fake business.
Fake business.
All business is fake business. When applying to...
Especially here.
Yeah. And he always had this grandiose version of himself. So when he was applying to business school, it's rumored that they asked him, are you smart? And he goes, I'm fucking smart.
He's like, I was sleeping with smart people.
Yeah. I mean, he was super fucking smart. I'm not debating that at all.
It is pretty ballsy to say in your business school interview, fucking.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But on the other hand, that's what it takes to succeed. So whatever.
So
he knows. He's
kind of an eccentric guy. He's one of these guys who is probably a little too smart for his own good, honestly. Because one of his favorite books was called The Selfish Gene, which is basically about survival of the fittest. And he was really famous for saying that money was the only thing that motivated people. And he was like extremely into Darwinism, which can get kind of problematic, obviously.
Yeah.
Something I find really fascinating.
He would probably struggle with the woke movement.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
I'm sure he did. So something that was really interesting was when he came in, he changed the layout of the offices. And so this is a photo of the offices. You'll see that there's like the trading floor. There's all these like, plebes that are down there. And then there's the two different staircases. That's one for Ken and one for him. They had separate staircases.
Oh
so
my
it's like
God.
almost like they're like commanders of the ship and like gods.
Yeah, that's like Star Trek energy.
Right.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy?
It's all just a big ego trip for so many of these people.
Pretty much. He also instilled what was called the rank and yank.
Okay.
Essentially, your peers would rank you. Yeah. So that also creates more of like a culture of like, you better shut the fuck up and do what you're told.
And everyone better like you.
And everyone better like you.
Like your MySpace top 8.
Right.
You're like just rotating people up.
So it's like, yeah, if you're not playing the game and if you're not down to take these like giant fucking risks and be like basically a part of this machine that's doing a bunch of nefarious stuff, you're out of there. But like in the weirdest way that makes it feel like it's your fault and you were a bad employee.
So you're ranked, and then the top, it says the top.
The top. So you're ranked. The bottom 15% were fired every year. And then the top 15% were giving a massive bonus, like millions of dollars bonus.
Oh my God, that is such a that's like psychological warfare.
I know.
Also with your coworkers who are idiots. You're like, you better be going to happy hour, let me tell you that.
Fucking
you better
crazy.
be friends with them.
I know. Yeah, that's
God.
the other thing. I was watching during the WeWork documentary, there's like this group of girls. It's like working for WeWork sucks because you have to stay up until 3 a.m. fraternizing with people or else you don't get like opportunities. And I was like, oh, that is work.
Yeah, that is no thanks. Unsubscribe.
Totally.
But that is the nice thing about doing sales is you're like, did you close the deals? That's all we really care about.
Yeah.
I mean, like
pretty much.
hang out, etc., play the game if you want to get into management, but like beyond that, just close your deals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move it along.
Yeah. I don't want to get into management. Can I say
No.
that? I just want to chill.
Can you imagine?
No, God, no. Okay, so he was also used as a hype man because the people that were evaluating Enron's stock were obviously the stock analysts. So
Wow.
he was basically this incredible salesman to them, and he was like manipulating them into thinking Enron was a sure bet. So instead of rating them their risk rating, which should have been very poor,
Mm-hmm.
they needed it to be like a must buy or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I think must buy.
Must
or
buy
like
or safe buy, whatever the fuck.
you know what it is.
Yeah, so he basically like gaslighted all these people into thinking it was for sure a sure bet.
Was it gaslighting or did he like take them out to strip clubs? Because I'm
Both.
guessing it's the latter.
Both.
Yeah.
And
you know what I mean? Like especially back then, it was like they would just go out, do cocaine, go to a strip club. Enron would pay for everything. And then they'd be
Right.
like, they're a great company. We love them.
right, pretty much.
Must buy me more drinks.
Yeah, so they were basically like manipulating them, like bribing them into
that's what
giving
it is.
their stocks a high rating. And a lot of these people were actually pulled into the trials, which is kind of
Wow.
Yeah, where they were like, why would you rate this how you rated it? And they were just like,
We don't know.
they were like, Jeff told me. It's like, no, you don't get to
It seems
do that.
like a really cool guy.
Right. Yeah, pretty cool. So this guy named John Olson, actually, he was an analyst working at Merrill Lynch, and he was skeptical of Enron, famously. So Andrew Fastow, who was the then CFO of Enron, told Merrill Lynch. So he kept giving them like a neutral or like it's not like don't buy this or whatever.
Sure.
Sell
A normal
review.
review.
Review. And so the CFO, Andrew Fastow, told Merrill Lynch they need to get someone on board with Enron or else they wouldn't do business with them.
Yeah. It's really weird on the back end how all that stuff happens because a lot of those big banks, I don't know about Merrill Lynch specifically, but like if you're trying to go public or something like that, like they make money all of a sudden on the companies.
Right.
And they're the same groups that are like making
Telling
the
you what
ratings and
to-
telling the public what to do with them. So it's like very conflict of interest-y.
I mean, it's almost like why even bother to listen to them?
Okay, who else are you going to listen to? But yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right. Absolutely. But like, it's
Reddit.
kind of a massive flaw. Literally, some of the Reddit analysts, I'm like, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
I mean, we're seeing that with a lot of companies right now.
true. Anyway, so then predictably, Merrill Lynch fired this guy named John Olson because he wouldn't back down. He was like, I don't think it's a sure bet. I'm not going to rate it like that. And they were like, well, you're fucking done
He got
here, obviously.
fired? I hope he is just swimming in pussy now. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, he's in the documentary, and I fucking doubt it. Let's just say that.
Okay.
But he was.
Did he get a new job at least?
I'm sure he did. He was also at the trial, so maybe they got some. Maybe Merrill Lynch.
He
bought
got
him
to
out
just
or
give him the
something.
finger, like for the entire trial. Like that was his. You can sit in the corner the whole time and just flip him off.
So this is another thing that I don't really quite understand, but Fastow rewarded Merrill with 2 investment banking jobs worth $50 million, and I don't really know what exactly that means. I rewinded it, and then I kept playing it and rewinding it, and I was like, "This is still
Maybe
no
you know
clarity for
what?
me.
Maybe I'll try to figure that out before part 2.
Okay, yeah, because I really truly had no idea.
I'm
what the fuck I was
curious.
listening
How can
to.
you get awarded a job for $50 million?
I have no
What does
clue.
that mean?
No idea. So, and then the analysts got bonuses from the investment banking department to bring in said deals like that.
Yeah.
So it's
Like
like
their
a whole
commissions.
corrupt system.
Yeah,
Obviously.
that's finance, baby.
Yeah. And then also when the stocks kept rising, the actual business operations in gas were losing money like a fucking, like you wouldn't believe.
Sure.
So during
They were
this
like, we're not actually making money.
Right.
Are you crazy? You out of your mind?
So during this time, the .com boom was going off. So Jeff was like, maybe we should take our business into cyberspace, which is very smart.
That's
and
the word.
duh.
We're going to cyberspace in our Star Trek office.
Well, I mean, it makes sense of like, it's like, okay, we are trading gas, but we got to trade something else to kind of continue
No, I mean, I agree, but
expanding and whatever.
the term cyberspace just feels so
Yeah.
antiquated.
Oh, for
because
sure.
it is.
So Enron was going to use its knowledge of trading gas to barter bandwidth on the information highway. That's what it
Oh my
said
God.
in the documentary, which I thought was pretty cute. But yeah, and then so this is
Flip of them.
this is a commercial. So they play these like fucking weird commercials all the time. So yeah, go ahead and play this bandwidth commercial he made.
From 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., we're paying for bandwidth that we are not using. Why? Why?
We're paying for something we're not using?
Why do we accept things the way they are? If we have a problem, other people do too. There's our market.
Why can't we sell the bandwidth to other companies? Make it a commodity, like a pork belly.
I don't think they know what the internet, how it works. I'm pretty sure.
They're just like, whatever we can trade for some reason, let's do it.
And that's what's crazy is that they were just trading whatever the fuck they could potentially put a name on.
Yeah.
Internet bandwidth? What?
I don't know. Like
the download speeds to your location? Like that doesn't...
Yeah, like I didn't even... There's so many things. You have no idea how much I was rewinding.
Yeah, you're just like...
I still don't get it.
Well, I think that's part of the point. I think that is correct. Like you did that and then the court was basically like, what? And they were like, we don't actually have an answer for you.
And they're like, I don't know. People were buying it, so...
They bought it because it sounds like... They said why a lot in the commercial.
Yeah,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
You say that enough, people like kind of believe you.
Oh my God, this is actually about a different commercial, but I saw in the, I went through the comment sections of some of these commercials, which are pretty funny. And somebody named Norman Waterman goes, I remember these commercials in the late 90s before the scandal unfolded. And every time I would hear the why at the end, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know.
Stop asking me. Oh my God.
I'm like, that's so
It has like a cult kind of vibe.
Yes, yes, it does. And then somebody by the name of I Hate What I Saw goes, this looks like a promising company. How many shares can I put down? It's funny.
Invest.
Yeah. Okay, so last thing that I'll say on this episode, because we're running out of time and
we've got plenty of time to dig into this in further parts. So.
Yeah, so the traders on the floor. So the traders were extremely aggressive because of this culture that Skilling had put in. So there's actually a trader on the documentary, this guy named Charles Wickman, who said, if I'm walking to my boss's office to talk about compensation and if I have to step on someone's throat to double it, I will stomp on their throat.
Why do you need a quote of that, man?
Yeah,
maybe that's something that you keep to yourself, my guy.
And he was so excited to say it, and then he had all these like spaces in between all his teeth, and he was like, it's like, oh my God.
That's psychotic.
It was crazy. So they're just like these foul-mouthed, bro-y, like psychopaths.
Perfect.
I hate to end it here because it's kind of like an exciting thing, but in the next episode, I'll read some of their transcripts just as like a little teaser.
Oh.
So it's really quite crazy. Like you think like we got it all. We got sexism, we got racism, we got misogyny.
We've got fake accounting.
All the flavors
got
that
a
you
meteorologist brother.
Yeah, so just to like tease you guys for the next few episodes, we have a blackout across California. We have
that's crazy because that's like hurting. Like that's obvious.
Yes.
That's actual impact on human lives.
Exactly.
Like a hospital or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have strippers. We have
thank God.
Yeah. What else do we have? We have this guy who came in and came out really quickly, and he actually left with a lot of money. Good for him. We have some more intel on their what they did on their corporate retreats, which is really, really fun. So this is going to be a super fun one. I'm
excited.
This one's just kind of like laying down the groundwork for the story, but we'll be back, and I hope to be able to speed up the process and get you part 2 quicker than a full week from now. We'll see how that happens. We'll see. We try our best for you people.
As always, we appreciate your support. If you could leave us a comment or a review or a high five virtually, whatever you want to do, we'll feel the vibes. So we appreciate you. Come back. May, anything else?
No, that's it. Come see us live. As always, please follow us on Instagram. We post our dates, and I'm at the Tiny Cupboard every Saturday.
I'll be in Houston, actually, performing at the Secret group on Thursday. This might come out after.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. Anyway.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you guys for part 2.
Bye.
Bye.